What do you find is the most um, transformational aha moment that parents can have by to understand bullying, to understand what is happening in bullying, like from especially from the child who's getting bullied, from the parent of the child who's getting bullied perspective.
Well, it's important to first understand why a child is allowing themselves to get bullied, because there's kids that would allow themselves to get mentally bullied or physically bullied. But really, when I say physically bullied, that's actually assault. And then there are kids that are more emotional, more sensitive. Neither one is right or wrong, and they don't know how to respond because, frankly, they've never had training. And all the parents have ever said is, if someone's mean to you, tell a teacher. And especially with the public schools, the way that they're so much different as opposed to 30 years ago when I grew up. One of the most important things that parents, I feel, need to do is have an open communication with their children to lay out expectations. Because if a child in our public school system, and I used to live in New Jersey, which came up with the worst anti-bullying laws in the country, all done by attorneys who had no discussion or conversation with the teachers and the teachers union. Um, Understanding that if you put your hands up to defend yourself in public school, if you even block, you're automatically under the zero tolerance law. They take all the power away from the teacher to handle the situation, do conflict resolution. They know the parents, they know everyone. They take all the power away from the teacher. They send it to an anti-bullying specialist. If your child puts their hands up to defend themselves, they get the same consequence as the bully. They get the suspension. And parents, if you grew up when I grew up, you just believe that it's not like that, because when we grew up, if I put my hands up to defend myself or something, the bully was in trouble. I wasn't in trouble. So having an open conversation with your kids to talk to them about what, like, have your kids ask you, what do you want me to do if somebody's punching me, kicking me, hitting me in school? And then after I go tell the teacher while there's blood trickling down my nose or my mouth, like, what can I do so that parents can actually say to their kids, you're allowed to defend yourself if that's their belief system. You're allowed, and not only just are you allowed to defend yourself, don't just say defend yourself, stand up for yourself, show them. Someone tries to hit you in the face, you do a block. Somebody tries to grab your leg, you lift it up. And I always say to every parent of every child ever, put your kid into martial arts no matter what, because the what you get from martial arts is self-confidence and the strength and the calmness when you unleash your martial arts upon a controlled environment as opposed to outside is so much more beneficial. So really understanding that the way that we grew up and the way that the rules are, with zero tolerance being abused from being something for weapons, as now being abused all over. And there's also tons of public schools that are notorious for covering up everything, and administrators don't want to talk about it, and principals will lie to your face and say there's no bullying in our school, which the first time a principal says that to you, you need to know, okay, got it, you're not a realist. So it's really that opening that communication instead of just assuming that your kids are safe. Because if you've been watching the news over the last 20 years, kids are not safe in public schools anymore.